Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
Got lots of love, love. 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 Got lots of love, love.
welcome back. It's a brand new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss. Look who's starting it all off, it's Raven.
No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through from Payne. He's just gonna solidify everything from Mythos.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
NKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Lores, you're gonna be able to find these shots true.
Inu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes the Nanoblade immediately comes back like fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2, 3, so back and forth.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to CGL Season 13. We are in the dirt of the mid-season playoffs here. We've got our first matchup in the Stage 1 playoff for the NA Masters tier. It's going to be Galactica versus Alternate Inferno. I am joined for this one. It's been a while, Shadow. How you feeling?
Yeah, it has been quite a while since I've casted with you too, Fletch. Been feeling pretty good, honestly. Been wanting to get more back into the casting scene. So I'm really looking forward to this tournament here in this Masters tier. And, and as we can see over here, we got our bracket coming in. And,
yeah, small bracket here. Only 4 teams. That's I think half of the Masters tier. So it is a single elim tournament. So the winner of this tournament is going to the grand finals. Loser goes home. It's pretty cut and dry for the mid-season. YE and Era versus Mythos Hydra, down there in the lower bracket. They said something about YE and Era. They the side of Galactica want YE and Era to go through. I talked to both of the teams a little bit. This is going to be the 3rd time that Galactica has played Alternate Inferno this season so far, so they want to keep their unbeaten streak going, not only for the season but against Alternate Inferno. Yeah. They are 4-0 on the season so far. Alternate Inferno sitting at 2-2. So Alternate Inferno, they've got a little bit of history, but trying to get some get back for what they've gone through early this season.
Yeah, and I mean, Galactica does not have a map loss so far, so Alternate Inferno is definitely going to be looking to, at least if you get at least 1 map win, that's better than you've done the last 2 times you played them. So you little victories here and there. Yeah,
I mean, you got to take them where you can get them, and first off, we'll get a quick look at these rosters. First up is going to be Galactica. Generally speaking, going to be the favorite coming in here, right? This isn't a very big tournament, not super deep. Galactica, I think, is generally the favorite to take the whole thing. We've got Ravage and Mint on the DPS, Redemption on the tank, Kenku and Verbot9. That's a crazy name.
That's how I'd say
I like
that.
it. Verbot9. Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, very, very strong team here in this Masters tier. Obviously 4-0. I believe the 1 seed. I can't imagine it would be much different than that. But yeah, we'll get a look at this other team on the other side that's trying to get their revenge.
All right, we got Alternate Inferno lineup here. We're going to have Forgetful and Rag running that DPS line. We got Little Lights on that tank, and then Havoc and Orenji Sakai on the support. I might have said that wrong. I might not have. It's that's my best shot at that.
Okay. I had to go to the team sheets.
Yeah.
It's not Verbot9, it's Verbo 10-9.
And
It's
as
Verbo
far
10
as
now.
and as far as the other support here, Orenji Sakai, they have strategic flames written down.
I'm just gonna say
on the
Orenji
team sheet.
because
I'm
gonna forget that.
I'm most likely gonna do the same. So but it's worth throwing out there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said already, right? These teams, I've already got history this season. 3 matchups, both times 3-0s for Galactica. And I did, like I said, talk to these teams a little bit. We do know what our first map is going to be. I think the round 1 map is the same all the way through. It's going to be Busan, which I think does lend pretty well into what Galactica want to do. When I talked to them, they said that they really like the Junker Queen composition, the Queen Brawl, or even Ram, right? Ramatra and Junker Queen are like 1A, 1B right now. They're both so strong. I do think I'll give the nod to the Ramatra, just generally speaking in most scenarios except Flashpoint. But I do think that if they're going to run the Junker Queen goes crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you're like timing that speed boost and like moving effectively as a unit, the Queen can be incredibly overpowering. You could say the same for the Ramatra though, because once you get Ramatra running with that extra speed boost from going into Nemesis and getting those punches off that are almost impossible to miss now with the new projectile size, it's a lot of damage that can go off at one time for sure.
And then, unfortunately, Alternate Inferno didn't give me any information about how they are going to come out, but, the players to watch out for on Galactica, they said that Ravage and Mint have been absolutely flourishing in this brawl meta where Tracer and Echo are 2 of the best DPS in the game. So watch out for them. They've obviously been playing well this season, sitting at 4-0, 12-0 map record, like you said. I mean, Galactica's been on a roll here, and we'll get a look at what they're going to come out on. And I cannot imagine Galactica rolls out on that comp. Alternate Inferno, though. That's a good shout, the Doomfist. I like the Doomfist, especially if you are well aligned with yourselves, right? You have to be if you're going to run the Doomfist. Because the Doomfist at its peak, super strong.
You have to be really, really in sync with your entire team in order to make the Doom work effectively. I like the comp from Galactica as well. You've got the Moira Rush with the Ram and then the Tracer Echo that you mentioned a little bit earlier. I think it's gonna be really hard for the Doom to find anybody to really dive on in this comp.
Yeah, I can't help but agree. But it's going to be up to Forgetful and Rag then if Little Lights has to just be, annoying as we get into this first fight here. Little Lights, hey, speak of the devil, Verbo crashes into the wall. Immediately gone is the Lucio, and a great start here for Alternate Inferno. Redemption stuck in a corner. Gonna go down. Rag cleans up Kenku and Redemption, and I mean, a perfect start for the first fight. Ooh, and a stagger.
I mean, if you're gonna land punches on a Lucio that's trying to wall ride out of there, then by all means continue running the Doomfist, because that's not an easy thing to consistently land. So that's really good play there from Little Lights. And Forgetful is just all over this backline on this Tracer, already 70% on this Pulse Bomb.
Little Lights puts Mint down. I mean, Little Lights, we question the Doomfist effectiveness into this composition where everybody is so mobile. But Little Lights has just said, I'm going to run it down and throw my fist forward and hope for the best. Now Redemption going to do the same, a little bit different here. And no, the punch did not go very far. Little Lights tried to throw out a quick punch to get away, but it was just a little too quick. Forgetful burned down by the orb. And it's all up to Verbo, I think, up there on the drum. They're going to get to 50%, but, that's just unfortunate.
And, I mean, that's really good punishing onto the Doomfist by Team Galactica here, but don't look now, but Forgetful looking for this Pulse Bomb stick. He could easily take out a target here.
No cleanse on the side of Galactica either, so, finding a stick on anyone but Kenku and Redemption would find a kill. Excuse me. As we get in here, they almost get the flip for Alternate Inferno, and Little Lights goes low, and they actually get the flip. Pulse Bomb is out, but Verbo, does get the trade, which is a good thing, all things considered, because if you're going to go down, you might as well take someone with you. Bye, Joe. Rag kills 2, and Alternate Inferno. I mean, they not only they take the point, but they take it so early in the fight that they denied like 5 or 10%.
Yeah, and Redemption staggering themselves out there probably isn't for the best because you're gonna be at it. You're gonna be in last fight territory by the time you get another fight here if you're Team Galactica. Granted, you can just ult dump. You can probably win this with just Cole and Annihilation and just run at the enemy team. But then Alternate Inferno does have Sound Barrier up, so this is gonna be a tough fight here.
Dragon Blade in the wings for Rag. Here's the Kitsune Rush, but Ravenge is back there with the shots onto Havoc, and the Dragon Blade came out as well. Both DPS, or not DPS ultimates, but sometimes it feels like Kitsune Rush is a DPS ultimate, but Havoc and Rag pull their ults out, and at 99%, they're gonna get the flip for Galactica. That perfect punish.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, great play by Galactica, not using anything other than that Coalescence. You managed to save Sound Barrier, Annihilation, and Copy for yourself. And a copy on a Doomfist, that's a really quick ultimate. You could even copy the Tracer, get a really quick Pulse Bomb. You could copy Lucio and get a second Sound Barrier if that's your flavor of the day.
Here we go. Alternate Inferno only need 1 fight to take this drum. The point going to be touched by Alternate Inferno. Little Flights has the get out of jail free card, but I imagine Mint will very, very soon as well. Here's the Annihilation from Redemption to try and put this fight away convincingly. The Meteor Strike came through from Little Lights, but unfortunately Havoc did not have their get out of jail free card, and Mint coming from the heavens to put Little Flights into a fine pace, and Galactica need 1 more fight here.
Yeah, it looks like we just have dueling Sound Barriers and Pulse Bombs for either team here. So I imagine we might just see both Sound Barriers go off. Whoever Sound Barrier's second here is probably going to be the one that wins this fight.
Here we go, Little Flights engaging, slamming down on it to the point. Ravenge and Forgetful. We're going to see Verbo out with the Pulse Bomb first. The cleanse going to hit Forgetful, but Little Lights did not receive the same amount of care. Going down first is almost certainly going to spell doom for Alternate Inferno, and the Sound Barrier from Orangey, I mean, it's just not enough. It's too little too late. There's going to be some stall here from Little Lights, but this Coalescence burns down Little Lights and finds Havoc too. Kenku killing 2 to finish it off. Verbo, you know, they're just a little annoying flies at this point for Galactica. They take round number 1, but it was significantly closer than I think a lot of people expected.
Yeah, Alternate Inferno had some really strong plays there, but they didn't respond with the Sound Barrier like I was talking about right before that fight. They never responded with the Sound Barrier. Once Galactica used Sound Barrier, you have to immediately respond with your own Sound Barrier. It's just, you need that extra sustain once the other team has it themselves.
Yeah, and you know, like I said earlier, I think the Doomfist comp has merit, right? I like the Doomfist comp.
Yeah.
And they ran it well, right? You have to be in tune with your own team so that, you know, you don't giga int when you punch in. And for the most part, our Alternate Inferno did not do that. There was no feeding to be found for the most part. But now they come out here on downtown, and it's going to be the Junker Queen composition for Alternate Inferno. There's going to be some peel there for the Moira, and I mean, it's just, it's already over, basically. Little Flights is dead and burned down by Mint, and Ravenge trying to find these late kills, and as the point unlocks, it will be Galactica that finds the first flip.
Yeah, Alternate Inferno just never really felt like they picked a target to go on there, while Galactica had their targets in mind from the very beginning of that fight and just managed to burn down people very early.
Go. Alternate Inferno, they're ready to go again. Rag so low, able to evade the Echo Beam, and Rag is somehow able to get Mint in the backline. Havoc is going to feed there, unfortunately. But Little Lights and Rag do not want to give this up, and Ravenge! And oh my god, Ravenge for 2! A beautiful blink recall from Ravenge, and then the Pulse Bomb to finish it off, but if Rag is gonna keep this going. 3 for Rag, but against Mint, there's just no hope.
Oh, that was so close to being a turnaround for Rag there. Wait a minute.
They're gonna get the flip.
Oh, they get the flip.
There's going to be Ranku was so low and forgetful, almost getting the kill, but Ravenge was there for the peel, and Ravenge gets a 2-piece of their own. They deny 8%, but my God, it was razor close.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of have to wonder at this point, can you keep playing this Queen into this Diva? The Queen isn't managing to get that much value just due to this defense matrix always being on their head. I mean, you can just see, look, 55%, and we're like, what, 3 fights in now?
Here we go, Forgetful able to find Mint out, but Rag so low. Pulse Bomb does not find a target, but Ravenge goes off the map. I have to assume that's what happened, right? Mint dupes the Junker Queen, and it is, it's just too much. 2 tanks on the field for Galactica. They're not going to get the Rampage, but they don't need it. 90% now for Galactica. Not much in the gas tank for Alternate Inferno right now.
Looks like the train took 2 targets that time. Both Tracers dying to what I presume was the train.
And here come the staggers left and right. They're just trying to keep this going. There's going to be a Doomfist on the point, and Little Light's somehow going to stay alive for the time being, but does not get the punch to, you know, get that overhealth in, and Mint burns them down. The Dragon Blade from Rag comes out, but it's just, you know, it's too late. There's rounds already goes over to Galactica. They take Busan. It was close for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. Point 1 was very, very close. It looked like Galactica really got into a rhythm once they started playing this this Diva comp on map 2. And then once they got into a real rhythm on map 1 with this Ram comp.
Yeah, man, I liked what they were doing for the side of Alternate Inferno. The Junker Queen, like you said during the game, I don't think it plays as well into the Diva, because the Diva's whole shtick is that she peels. She's annoying for people to walk into because you try to jump on someone, but there's always a Diva there to try and defend who they're jumping onto. And I mean, Redemption did that perfectly, right? And on round 1, the Doomfist composition found a lot of value in, you know, singling out targets that really shouldn't have been able to be singled out.
Yeah. Once Verbo stopped getting kind of jumped on by the Doomfist, that's what really turned it around for Galactica. Because those first few fights, Verbo was being taken out first as the Lucio, and then that just stopped happening, and it just became impossible for Alternate Inferno to burn anyone down fast enough. Because that Moira Lucio comp just does so much healing and has so much sustain, and both of those supports just have the highest survivability of like any supports, I would say.
Yeah, and that's their whole thing, right? Is that Moira and Lucio it's all speed. It's speed. That, I mean, Coalescence, fast ultimate. You get it fast. You pop it fast. Moira fade fast, does a lot of healing, stays alive, does more healing. Lucio's speeding in, speeding out. I mean, the whole point of the Ramatra with the Moira Lucio is speed. That is the name of the game. If you control the tempo, you control the game. And that is what Galactica did so well.
Yeah, and you know, Ramatra is a tempo tank, as they've told us several times. So
hell yeah.
That's what he does, you know.
Overwatch's first tempo tank, and Redemption playing that role to perfection. Unfortunately, it appears as though Verbo had some technical difficulties. We're trying to get the support back into the game. We don't quite know, I don't think. Okay, so I think it's Blizzard World. Blizzard World coming up for map number 2. Cool.
Okay. Interesting choice, because I personally feel like Blizzard World is an incredibly strong Echo map, just from my
I think it's also just from my personal map,
experience. You know, that's a good point. It's a good dive map overall. So, yeah, you're probably just trying to play into the strength of that Doomfist, you might say. Do we see Rag try and mirror Mint on this Echo as opposed to going for the Genji? It could be a good play.
I don't know. I don't this is a team, right? I talked to Galactica. I talked to both of them. Sometimes teams are just a little more defensive with the information that they want to give me, especially when it comes to compositions. That was what happened with Alternate Inferno, which is fine. If somebody, is watching and trying to gather some information, that's whatever. I don't really care. But based off of what we saw on that first map, I do think that Blizzard World is a fine shout for Alternate Inferno. If they want to come out on that Doomfist especially, right? I mean, there's a lot of high ground to play around. There's a lot of space to, slam in, slam out. I mean, I got to think that's what Alternate Inferno is doing. If not, Sigma, I think, is an okay shout here. Because I think if they didn't want to go Ramatra on Busan, I don't think they're going to go Ramatra here.
Right. Unless their tank player, Little Lights, happens to want to play Wrecking Ball by any chance. That could always be a play as well. Wrecking Ball is still really, really good.
Wrecking Ball is good, but I think it's like the same thing as Doomfist, but further, right?
Yeah.
It is harder to do things perfectly with Wrecking Ball because it takes a lot of setup for a Wrecking Ball dive to work. Whereas, a Winston or a Doomfist or a Diva can just say, hey, I'm going to fly in there and you're going to follow me.
Yeah.
With a Wrecking Ball, it's all the DPS got to go get set up, which, the other compositions do fine. But then the Wrecking Ball has to be in a position where they can swing up and slam down and then converge. It's a lot more stuff to deal with mentally.
I think we might just see the Diva dueling the Doomfist here. That's what I'm predicting. I think they're going to run the same comps otherwise, just Diva for Team Galactica and Doomfist for Alternate Inferno. I think that's going to be the play here.
Okay. Ignore Alternate Inferno. They don't matter right now. They're in the attacker spawn. They're whatever. Ravenge meant Redemption. Diva for Redemption. Ash Echo for Ravenge and Mint.
Ooh,
Mint looked
okay.
great. Sojourn. All right. I think that's a better shout than the Ash.
I like the Soj. It's a much less diveable target than the Ash is. Still diveable, but you got to put like 25% more effort to dive a Sojourn just because of that slide.
I think Alternate Inferno might actually be hovering the monkey for real, which I don't hate at all. If they're going to run a dive.
I do love me some Winston, so I'm always happy to see it. All right, let's see if they can do it. And we get the Echo v Echo fight that I was talking about.
What is this, Ben 10? Jesus. All right, you didn't like that one. All right.
well, I can't say I remember that
Echo
alien specifically. Oh, is that its name? The little small one?
The one that duplicates? Yeah. All
Yeah,
right,
okay.
Here we go. Alternate Inferno playing on this high ground and Rag under a lot of pressure by... Oh, come on. Don't bring us into this, man. Come on. Leave us alone. We weren't good. It's fine. Get away from us, all right? Mint burns down Rag. Ravenge finds the shot onto Havoc. And, yeah, that's going to be it for this fight pretty easily. Listen. Angus was mean to us, all right? I don't like them.
It happens. It's whatever. Mint,
We weren't good.
76%. Mint, 76% on this copy, though. Insane first fight from Mint, landing all those sticky bombs, hitting the beam on Echo. It was really good play overall.
Oh
and
my
Mint
God,
is going to have...
look at the
Mint
ult
has this
difference.
ultimate
Look
already.
at the
For all
ult
intents and
difference.
purposes, Mint has this ult.
Oh my God, the old difference between Mint and Rag right now. Holy hell. All right, here we go. Alternate Inferno gonna give this dive a second attempt 90 seconds into the round. And look at that, Redemption. It's just countering out the dive so perfectly, but Rag is able to jump on Ravenge. They're able to get down the Echo. Can they find another pick, though? The cleanse comes through on to Havoc, and they get the DMAC onto Redemption. Little Lights gets in there, helps out the Kiriko stay alive. They're gonna duplicate onto the Kiri. Gets the cleanse off, but it's not enough. And Mint, despite being able to find Rag there, they do not get away with the duplicate. I think that's Verbo down there trying to contest, but as it stands, yeah, it will be Alternate Inferno taking over this first point.
Yeah, shout out to Havoc right there with that perfectly timed Suzu. If that had been me, I would have thrown it after I was already dead. So, shout out to Havoc. That is the main reason that Alternate Inferno was able to win that fight, I feel like, because you demech Redemption, you lose all that ability to peel, and suddenly your bullets actually matter.
Here we go. Little lights. They have 5 ultimates on the side of Alternate Inferno here. Redemption not able to stay on the high ground, but Rag being pushed out, able to stay alive though. This Kitsune rush from Kenku should be big though. Little Lights has to pop the Primal Rage to stay alive, but it's a trade of Kiriko's here. So, I mean, that is good if... Ooh, that's not. Yeah, that was good trade there as the Kirikos both went down, but with the death of Rag, the go button has been hit for Galactica. They're going to hold on to the lives of Little Lights and Orenji though. Oh, not for long.
Well, you know, that's what happens as a Winston player. You just walk forward and die. That's the entire Winston experience.
Yeah. That's a tank experience right now, brother.
You know, fair enough. But side note, Galactica, they're gonna have 4 ults on the board. I'm expecting Mint to copy this Doomfist here. They had a really good time the last time they did it.
All right, here we go. Ravage, the duplicate, gonna come out on to Mint, from Mint onto Little Lights, and we're gonna see the APAC strategy here, duplicating Rag onto the Tracer, the 2 Tracers on the field. Rag trying to find this Pulse Bomb here. Gonna find the Pulse Bomb, gonna use the Pulse Bomb, not gonna find a target with the Pulse Bomb. The bomb takes out the duplicate. Are we keeping up, right? The punch gonna come out from Little Lights. Gonna put the hand up, gonna get the empowered punch, gonna turn Mint into a box of scraps on the floor. A great pick there from Little Lights, but and it looks like Alternate Inferno are gonna be able to bring this one out.
Yeah, in a fight where everybody used their ultimate except for Forgetful, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, somehow Alternate Inferno come out on top of that. And honestly, if you're Forgetful, you're pretty happy to have this Pulse Bomb. Although it's going to be insanely hard to land it on anybody that it will actually kill.
With Kenku on the field, that job was hard last map, harder now. So the Kiriko annoying, Rag so is annoying, just as annoying. They're gonna burn down Verbo, and that's bad. They take down Little Lights, unfortunately, for the side of Alt Inferno. Yeah, that's just gonna be a hard disengage.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be too mad at that. You get 2 meters away from the checkpoint, and you have basically 2 more fights here if you're smart with your timing. And Forgetful still has this Pulse Bomb, and the only thing that's close on the other side for Galactica is the Kitsune and Pulse Bomb.
Oh. But it doesn't matter if they keep getting these first picks without having to invest anything. I mean, right now, Galactica are just on a roll. They lost the first point convincingly, and I think Redemption gets demeched here, surely, right? No, they force out the recall, and Forgetful has to get out. That's so much healing.
Yeah, great work surviving there by Redemption and not getting demeched, living on that edge, if you will. But it looks like we're gonna have another fight, just like at the beginning of second point, where both teams are gonna have all their ultimates. Yo, who's gonna press more Qs here? That's the question.
Well, we look to answer this question in the next 20 seconds or so. We know that Rag will not be able to burn down by Mint, and unfortunately here go the Qs. They're able to get Kenku taken down, but with the trades coming through onto Havoc, it's too late. Pulse Bomb right under the skates of Verbo there. And I mean, I think that this round is over. The duplicate is out from Mint, and they go on to Little Lights. They use the dupe on the Doomfist. Orenji is dead. Rag has to use this dupe. They go over to the Lucio, but that 250 HP, you know, we thought it was a lot going up, but it goes away so fast when 5 people are looking at you. The touches continue to come through, but it will be Galactica holding before the end of point B. That said, it is a very, very winnable distance to hold.
Yeah, that's a really solid push. Many a team gets stuck on point 2 of Blizzard World. It's very common. and they managed to get all but, I want to say, like 2 meters away from that checkpoint. So for all intents and purposes, you gotta full cap 2 points on this map in order to win this if you're Galactica. But if you're alternate Inferno, that means you know exactly how far you need to defend and where you need to hard hold at in order to really keep this map under control. And a lot of those fights were really, really close. They could have gone either way a lot of the time. It just came down to, like you were saying, those early first fight picks coming through for Galactica. And the fights where both teams started off even and started using ultimates, usually alternate Inferno was taking those fights.
Yeah, I mean, once again, you know, they lost out on one of those fights on point A where they gave up the capture. But Galactica is playing with unreal speed right now, and we're gonna see alternate Inferno come out on. Okay, well, I was hoping for the Sigma. I like the Sigma here. I like the Doomfist as well, to be clear. I like the Doomfist. I like what Alt Inferno's been showing us. But Galactica's speed, it's just unmatched right now. They're just blitzing the crap out of Alt Inferno right now, and there's just nothing that they can do. They can't keep up right now.
Yeah, they're just like a half step behind. It's not that much of a difference, but at this level, the tiniest little thing can make all the difference in the world.
Here we go for point A, first fight here for Alt Inferno. They're able to keep Rag alive, but Forgetful is not so lucky. And it looks to me like this first fight is already over. Ring around the rosy with Ravenge and Orenji, but with Little Lights going down, all hope is lost for point A. Galactica walks in and takes it.
Well, the positive thing if you're alternate Inferno here is that it was so quick that nobody has an ultimate either way, so you're still going into a dry fight for the next fight.
Little Lights up there on the high ground trying to find these little handguns. Trying to find something with the Doomfist shotguns. Gonna find tried to slam up and get a punch on the Verbo in midair, but not quite able to get it. Throws up the hand, does not get the empowered punch. Or did they? Did they give it to him? I think Little Lights does have the empowered punch, huh? I didn't see that. That's crazy. But yeah, Mint goes up to the high ground, has to drop down immediately, and Little Lights does have this trump card in the pocket in the empowered punch. And there it is! Just eviscerated is Mint, and there's another one for Little Lights. The empowered punch throwing Kinku back, Forgetful cleaning it up. An alternate Inferno, they hold on for the time being.
That was a great little long distance punch from Little Lights. I was very surprised they were able to get that. That was a great play. The only thing, though, is you're going to have to deal with this Coalescence, and that little extra tick damage from the Coalescence can be a lot in a fight like this where everything is so close.
Oh my goodness, Forgetful. Able to find out Ravenge and put them down in the Tracer duel, but that... Oh god, that is the saddest thing I've ever seen. 15 HP, one sticky grenade on your screen, and you just die because of it. One of those sticky grenades is usually pretty negligible, but just too much there as the dupe came out from Mint. Coalescence from Kinku. I mean, everything is looking Galactica right now.
Yeah, and I mean, even going into this next fight, if you're alternate Inferno, you need to engage before Verbo gets this sound barrier. It's your best chance of winning here.
Here we go. Kinku pressured out on the cart, but that means that they do not have a tank in the back line for Alt Inferno. And with Havoc and Forgetful going down here, I mean, very, very lucky to get that off, but the HP was not there for long enough as Rag duped the D.Va. I mean, there's two D.Vas on the field right now, but the bomb from Redemption, or the bomb from Rag is able to take down Redemption's mech, and I mean, they're staggering and they're finding picks, but it's still 4 people swarming for the side of Galactica, and the poop from Verbo sends Alt Inferno packing 2-0 for Galactica. They're on match point.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, great map again from Galactica. Mint in particular really showing off on this Echo, getting some great plays, like right here.
I mean, yeah. these DPS players right now, I think, like, especially Mint. Mint has been my standout thus far for Galactica. She's been absolutely popping on the Echo. And I mean, that's not to discredit what Ravenge and Redemption and Kenko and Verbo are doing. Once they stopped Verbo from getting caught out by Little Lights, it was a whole different game.
Yeah, that's been the whole difference so far. Like I was saying on map 1, as soon as Verbo was not getting caught out first, you have so much sustain, and your DPS are building ult faster for the most part. So it's like it's really, really difficult to get ahead if you're alternate Inferno. But that's gonna take us to our first break. We will be right back in about 5 minutes to see if alternate Inferno can potentially get a reverse sweep.
Whoa, okay, someone did not expect to be caught out this badly. What happened here, Adam? What's wrong? You just take a little peeky too far? Oh yeah, Invictus clocked you. Yeah, the Avengers have a raid, and you ain't living this one. Yeah, just 2 shots from a bat, 1 headshot. Honestly, just good luck on here from Robbie. Oh, J-Wiz went so low. Wait, J-Wiz, gotta get out. No, never mind. J-Wiz is unaware, unfortunately. It's difficult to identify. I could see how you may have stayed in this one. It's just it's an awareness issue. Small awareness issue. Phantom has lost a little bit of health over the course. Bro got absolutely massacred. Just managing to bisect Smolvin. Oh no. Adam died. Where did Adam die? What happened? What happened, Adam? Ah, hello. I see a distant silhouette. Oh no, don't tell me they're Invicta again. Oh, they're coming for the pickup. You try to intercept the pickup. Oh no. Adam, the stick? Oh. Wait, do you just eat shit on the Lucia projectiles? No, the Cheerios were too strong. Oh my goodness, the Lucia projectiles do so much damage with the new hitboxes, don't they? Hard engage. This should get maybe 3. Yeah, I imagine this gets 3. A slight assist here coming through from Crimson to make sure that the bat can't be hit by the Rampage. Not ideal, I'm gonna say. Remember, kids, when you're trying to set up the... I mean, is this just supposed to be a backboard for Leaky? Is it gonna slide off? In the back, Adam has been taken out. Both the DPS fall at once, which is not ideal. What happens to you, Adam? Do you just find someone with a fully charged rail and eat shit? Yes. The answer is yes. Oh, the boop, the boop. How far's it go? Oh, you lucky bugger. You lucky bugger.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Right now, Galactica firmly in the lead going into map number 3 against alternate Inferno. But we're going into a map that, I mean, I gotta think that it lends itself to what Galactica want to do. I think that there are 2 compositions that go well on map 3, which is, you're going to see here, it's going to be Suravasa. And I think that both of these teams are good at each of these compositions. It's the Junker Queen Rush and the Doomfist Dive. I think those are 1A, 1B on Suravasa. So I expect alternate Inferno to once again reprise their role on the Doomfist here.
I mean, we saw them try to play the Queen on map 1, so they could bring that back out again and just believe that Galactica is not going to play the Diva that was denying all that value for the Queen this time.
Yeah, I mean, I got to imagine they're probably not going to run Diva, right? I think they're either going to run Ramatra or Junker Queen, and I, as a general rule, like Junker Queen a lot more on Flashpoint. I think on all 4 other types, Ramatra is the better tank. On Suravasa and New Junk City, Junker Queen, I think, is my S-tier tank.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised to even see like a soldier come out and start doing like Hydra on flanks, just running circles around the map. Soldier is like shockingly effective right now.
I don't hate the shot. I don't know. I just think that right now, from the side of Galactica, I think it's pretty set what we're going to see, especially in like the DPS department. And potentially even the support, right? Lucio Kiri or Lucio Moira. That's what we're going to see in the DPS or the support. The DPS Tracer. Echo is the character. We had a whole discussion about that. Echo, the blue one. Redemption, though, I think is the big question mark, right? We've seen Redemption play a lot of stuff tonight, and they've told me that they like the Junker Queen rush, but they haven't come out on Junker Queen yet. So I'm interested to see if they're going to keep on with the Ramatra, with the Diva, or if they're going to bring out the Junker Queen here on Suravasa. Also, on the side of Alt Inferno, do they play Junker Queen again? Or, I mean, I think the Junker Queen and Doomfist are hand in hand, both just as effective.
I think they will run out on that Queen, and I think they're going to opt to put Rag back on that Genji again, because I think Rag really likes to play that Genji from what I've seen so far. So why not pair it with the Queen, you know? And then you get the Kiriko Lucio to deny any potential Queen on the other side from Redemption, you know? And you're almost forcing a Kiriko from the side of Galactica if you run the Junker Queen as well, so that's something else to consider.
Okay, we're getting into the map here very, very soon. I apologize for the delay. But yeah, we're going to see what these teams are going to come out on in just a few seconds and, you know, see if we'll be surprised. Okay, alternate Inferno not opting for the Junker Queen, but for the Ramatra and Galactica, we still have time. This is essentially Defender spawn shenanigans, I think. I don't imagine that we're going to see a Wrecking Ball, but if we do, that'll be interesting, I guess. But alternate Inferno, I think that is what they are going to come out on.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm curious as to why they hadn't tried it up until this point. Maybe they're just like, all right, we'll be meta slaves now. We'll do it.
Okay, we're seeing the Wrecking Ball come out here for Galactica. Gonna try this ball comp and see if they can get something going with it. Alternate Inferno also doing something new, like you said, on the Ramatra. Something they haven't tried up to this point. So here we go. It's going to be Redemption getting this big slam, a lot of damage onto Little Lights, but taking a lot in return. Has to pop those adaptive shields, and Little Lights going out the Nemesis form. Here we see a Lucio duel in the rafters of the market. Can Mint find something with that focusing beam? Not gonna quite get there. Nobody has gone it down just yet, but I mean, booped right into the shot of Mint is Little Lights, and Ravage cleans up a couple more. Just had to say something. Ravage for 3, cutting down just a hat trick there. I mean, Galactica, you know, it took them a while, but they got it rolling.
Yeah, I mean, the tough thing here again for Little Lights is who do you punch? with Ramatra into this comp right now, there's not really a solid, easy target for you to run at right now, so you're going to have a really difficult time as Little Lights.
Mint on the off angle. They know that Forgetful is somewhere around here. Oh, that's not Forgetful, that's Havoc. But I mean, just as well that they're dead for Galactica. They do lose Verbo, but I mean, once again, Rag trying to show off the heroics, but Mint just a little bit stronger right now.
And yeah, I mean, shout out to Redemption as well. They've got these mines ready to go, just swinging back and forth on the point. Usually the ball doesn't have the strongest point presence, but this one has been having some really good point presence right now.
Here we go. Do they even get a touch? It will not appear to be so. Did they get that lucky? I think they did get that lucky. It's going to be Garden up next here on Saravasa, but I mean, as fast as Alternate Inferno got there, Galactica are the ones that are on the point somehow. The fight begins with Redemption throwing out the minefield and then squishing Havoc. I mean, Alternate Inferno, they got the RNG pick. They decided which point they were going to, and it was right. But Galactica's speed somehow got there first.
Yeah, I mean, just great play from Redemption, dropping those mines, just kind of denying the whole point for Alternate Inferno. And that's all you had to use. You have all 4 of your other ults if you're Galactica and Alternate Inferno. I mean, yeah, they're close to Sound Barrier and Coalescence, but other than that, they just have the Blade. And Galactica has a Sound Barrier to deal with that.
We go Dragon Blade out from Ravage. Kenku throws out the Kitsune Rush, and the dueling Dragon Blades are going to go towards Ravage. I mean, it's like Zoro versus Mihawk right now. There's one of these swordsmen that is clearly better.
Yeah, absolutely. Just really strong. And look, Redemption has mines again. They just use mines.
Yeah, I mean, the Galactica speed, they're just running laps around Alternate Inferno.
Yeah,
they're going to go over to the Echo.
They're just engaging on Alternate Inferno before they're ready. See, look, they're already engaging.
Yeah, and Redemption has this minefield. Like you said, there's a dive from Little Lights onto the Genji, and the minefield followed up. And believe it or not, there's a Coalescence there from Havoc, and that's going to be enough. I mean, they're going to get the damage in. They're going to get the kills. And despite Rag going down, Rag with the posthumous sticky grenades, going to be able to find Mint late, and they'll get the flip. It's 99%. I feel like there's just no reason to stagger anymore.
You ever try and use the Force before? That is exactly what that Moira hand reminded me of. Like if you're laying in bed and you try and use the Force to get your remote over to you. Very funny looking glitch right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of those silly little visual glitches. I think earlier I saw one that wasn't as pronounced. It was the Tracer. Speaking of Tracer, Forgetful gets found out by Ravage. I guess it doesn't really matter. The Tracer, no bullets coming out of the gun. Forgetful gets found out early, and whoa, Little Lights got very, very low. I imagine less than 100 HP for the Winston. Have to use the Primal Rage, and Rag, I mean, lost out in the Genji duel, but has been absolutely fragging coming back on the Echo.
Yeah, it looks like Alternate Inferno managed to turn that. Great play from Alternate Inferno. You do have to deal with this Wrecking Ball, though, because this Wrecking Ball is here. And they do have a million HP.
Looks like Redemption is going to get out, and the Genji going to touch for Ravage. The Genji's very low, and Orenji is going to be the one that gets that done. And finally, you know, they got the minefield off, but Redemption could not stay alive any longer. Forgetful trying to keep this going, and they will get the point. Garden goes over to Alternate Inferno.
And looks like Galactica is going to opt to swap onto this Junker Queen into the face of this Winston from Alternate Inferno.
I think that's a good choice, to be honest with you. I mean, we're seeing a bit of a ranked game right now with these tanks, you know, switching to counter out the other one. Little Lights went over to the Winston in the face of the Wrecking Ball. The Wrecking Ball switching over to the Junker Queen in the face of the Winston. You know, little rock, paper, scissors, actually, these teams. And yeah, Mint going to be able to get rid of Orenji. Unfortunately for Galactica, that's just been Mint's MO, finding out the DPS before they could do anything. Once again, goodbye, Joe. And yeah, I mean, this was pretty easy. Hey, take the wins where you get them, Alt Inferno.
Well, I mean, that's one of the copies of all time for sure. Mint uses it just so they don't die, so they don't have to reset. So I mean, you can't be too mad at it. But it does kind of suck to not have your copy anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's just got to be something Alt Inferno's got to take advantage of. The wasted ultimate. Duplicate is a very, very strong ultimate, and you see Forgetful here. Oh my god, Forgetful! Chucking it ER, get Mint out of the fight, to the point goes Forgetful. And now, I mean, Alternate Inferno are on a rampage. Galactica pushed back. I mean, the Primal Rage probably needed. I wasn't looking at Little Light's HP there, but what a stick by Forgetful.
Yeah, great Pulse Bomb coming out from Forgetful. And like, look, Redemption only 60% onto their rampage. And your Alternate Inferno, you have a big ult advantage right now. You just need nobody to die to this Pulse Bomb from Galactica. And you can easily secure yourself 70+% on this point.
But Forgetful is so low, and Havoc, I mean, they just do such a great job of splitting up the enemy team. And Rag, once again, trying to be the hero that Alternate Inferno needs. But, I mean, every time they make a big play, it's just too late.
But plus side for Alternate Inferno is they managed to save both support ults. So you're stacking both support ults against a sound barrier and a rampage from Galactica. With you having the Kiriko, I feel like Alternate Inferno should have the advantage in this fight.
Here we go, Little Lights once again trying to adapt. Do they get the touch? They do, but Mint has already secured a kill. Kitsune Rush from Havoc. Now the sound barrier from Orenji to get rid of that rampage. Sound barrier from Verbo in response as well, but Verbo is able to take down Little Lights. The Pulse Bomb is out, but they cannot find a target, and at 99%, Galactica survived the storm that was all three of those ultimates from Alternate Inferno and take point, their second point here, and they're at map match point.
Yeah, I mean, those stray picks coming out from Mint and Ravenge are just they're just doing a little too much for Alternate Inferno to recover from in these fights.
Right now, I mean, hello?
And it looks like both teams are getting ready to set up for this fight here on on this point. And
okay.
Oh, you back?
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Here we go. Kitsune Rush out from Kenku to try and get this fight finished off early for Galactica, and they're able to take down Drag, and there we go. That's going to be the nail in the coffin for Galactica. Yeah, I mean, Mint duping the Junker Queen, gonna find two picks here, and I mean, two Junker Queens is a scary thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Double shouts. Ugh. That's a lot to deal with. Alternate Inferno does swap to mirror the Queen, though, so Alternate Inferno has their copy here, and they're going to have a Pulse Bomb, but you got to go into potentially a Rampage and a Pulse Bomb, so I don't know. Redemption had a really good Rampage last time, so they might again.
But this time, Rag able to be the hero this time early in the fight. And you see Little Lights up there all alone, trying to find someone in the back line, but taking so much damage, too much damage. They're able to get rid of Ravenge, and the Rampage only hits Little Lights. They're able to drop as able to get this fight in, I think. Yeah, for Alternate Inferno, something keeps lagging. Lag!
And yeah, Alternate Inferno does in fact take that fight, and in the process, they get the Rampage out of Galactica, so you gotta be pretty happy with that. both teams holding on to this sound barrier. So, Forgetful with the huge pick. That's going to be very important for Alt Inferno.
All right, yeah. I mean, Ravage had that pulse bomb locked and loaded, but no way to use it right now. Forgetful trying to build up to their own as Mint turns around. They know that this Nat is in their backline right now, and they want to get it taken care of. I mean, without Ravage, they can't get too aggressive. But as Ravage returns, they use the shout, but Verbo is taken down early and at 89% here for Alternate Inferno. This should be a fight that they can pretty handily win. Can they get it done, though, without Forgetful is the question. Rampage comes out. I don't think there's a cleanse in the pocket for Kenku, but there's a sound barrier from Verbo to keep the team alive. Orenji, their sound barrier comes out, and somehow we're able to get the cleanse from Havoc, but it's too late. Can this be the end of the series here? Ravage for 2. They're able to take down 2 as a Rampage from a Redemption burns down Little Lights, and they're able to get 2 on the side of Galactica, and it's just Orenji left alive. But I mean, they still have one more chance.
Yeah, they're going to have one more fight. Only ult on the board right now is Rag's copy. Little Lights should be able to get this touch. Oh, it's going to be close, actually. Havoc's going to be forced to touch.
Will get the touch. But
No?
Okay, so the Doomfist comes in, flies over the entire point, but it was enough to get the touch. But Ravage and Redemption very easily blow Little Lights into next week. And just like that, I mean, the hope was in the eyes of Alternate Inferno just for Galactica to stomp it out. They take the series 3-0.
And they keep their undefeated map streak alive, worth noting.
Yeah, they don't lose a map. They're now 15-0 in a map count this season. Moved to 3-0, 12-0 against 3-0, 9-0 versus Alternate Inferno. I mean, right now Galactica, they're on a roll.
Yeah, I mean, they're a really, really strong team. They've got some good synergy together for sure. It looks like they've played together for a while, quite honestly, the way that they're able to just follow up with each other so consistently.
Yeah, I mean, full stop. I think that Galactica is one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to take this whole tournament. I do think it is worth noting that they've only played 2 opponents that aren't Alternate Inferno. So they very clearly have the script for when it comes to playing Alt Inferno. I am so whoever wins on the other side, I'm excited to see what that team is going to bring to Galactica, because Galactica now 5-0 on the season. I think that either they meet their match in the other series, or they keep this rolling. I mean, they look so strong and so confident on so many compositions, by the way. They came out with Ramatra, they came out with Diva, Wrecking Ball, Junker Queen, and all of them looked just as good as each other. I mean, when you have a tank that is that flexible and a DPS line that is that good, you're gonna have a good season.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing but praise for the side of Galactica. Alternate Inferno was really a lot closer than the scoreline would suggest. Just a different fight here, a different fight there, and those maps could have gone different ways.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely could have had it on map number 1. They could have taken the drum and taken us to Mega Base for a 3-map Busan. I don't know, what would have happened then, but, they could not keep up. Speaking of could not keep up, we're talking about these players, and we talked about it all series. Galactica plays with a speed that you don't see very often in the Masters tier, right? Usually that is, a thing that happens with the decisive teams up in the higher tiers. But, the Masters tier is not, the open tier. It's not where you expect to see these hyper what's the word I'm looking for? These teams that are so cohesive and so decisive and so fast. I mean, and that's not to say that Alternate Inferno was slow, because they weren't slow. They were, they're generally speaking, they were a quick team. They were fast to make decisions. But when you have a team like Galactica who's making these decisions that split second faster, making the plays the split second faster, I mean, that's what it's going to come down to, is that split second difference.
Well, and it's like I said in the match, Galactica was always engaging where Alternate Inferno didn't want them to just yet. It was always when Alternate Inferno was trying to set up that Galactica was already engaging on them. And especially, like, we caught it a few times on camera, but Mint was hitting these really, really nice flanks where they were just able to get so close and have an easy shot to kill somebody. And that is something that can really make a huge difference in a game like this, when you can just get those easy early picks because you just know exactly where and when to flank.
Yeah, I think that she was definitely my standout in this series. Mint was great. Everybody from the side of Alternate Inferno, they made plays. And that's what you got to do if you want to win championships. They were able to string the plays together, and they dominated. They stomped. And they moved to the grand finals. Hey, that's pretty good. I think it is worth noting what the midseason tournament is worth. If you don't know, the midseason tournament, there's no money on the line. Well, I guess there's no money on the line in this tier anyway. But the rewards for the midseason tournament are the same across all tiers. It's, if you win the midseason tournament, you get an extra win for the season. If you get second place, you get 3 map points, but not the win. Put onto the record, so it's to help with map differential. And then if you make the tournament, you get 1 map point. So everybody that made the tournament is getting rewarded some way. But Galactica, they move on. They're guaranteed at least second place in the tournament. So they've got the 3 wins. But I can tell you right now, a team that is as strong as Galactica is right now, they want to win it. And they want to win the whole season.
Yep, absolutely. And you got to think they're the favorites at the moment, at least. So I look forward to seeing what they can do in this finals.
Yeah, but unfortunately for us, that's going to be it. We do have another match here in an hour. So we're going to cut the stream, and then we'll be back in just a little while. It won't be me and Shadow, but it'll still be a good match nonetheless. So keep your eye on the announcements in the CGL Discord and the Twitch notifications. And we'll be back in a little while, so be ready for that one, guys, and have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody.